Welcome to another edition to the Vibe Kage's What Ifs that I seem to never make a part 2 of, or rarely make a part 2 of. In reality, I'm just stuck on writing the shit out because shit be hard, shit be whack. And I ask myself too, how do I think of such convoluted concepts? I don't have an answer. Ah shit, son. Anyway, here is where our story begins. Now, Deku, yet again, I'm killing him. God knows how many times have I had to kill off this boy. Anyway, Deku dies again. The incident changes with the one simple aspect of the first sludge villain. At the very beginning, Deku, before he could even meet All Might failed to save Deku. The sludge villain completely takes him over. Snaps his neck right away without trying to create a struggle. He snuck up on Izuku, twisted his neck, broke it, went in. All Might didn't know. 2 weeks later, when they capture the villain Izuku, they found out that he's been dead for 2 weeks, and that was traumatizing for Inko, to say the very least. Hey, fuck My Hero Academia world right now. So, hey, I'm not gonna lie. I am still upset about killing my Midnight. So, oh well. I'm not gonna continue the what is. I'm just give me a minute to think on where I want to go with those stories. So, continuing on with this one at least. Izuku would awaken himself. Now, he would be 14. And I will make my story run neither through the timeline of the manga nor the anime, since I will be taking aspects and just saying, fuck it. And I'm going on with it anyway. As this is where things get very special. Because Izuku, I'm changing the age where he would be going in. And it is roughly 3 years before Bulat would go join in with Night Raid. Because it is Bulat and his sensei who find him. They take Deku, they save him. Deku has absolutely no memory. His clothes were very weird. They gave him a new set of change of clothes. But, they would train him, see what he's capable of, and well, physically, he was lacking. His intelligence was that neither of them could compare with. Deku was big-braining so hard that he could easily find out the weak points of Incrucio. Despite him only seeing it fight once, though Deku did not have the physical strength to, keep up, he was able to, thanks to his analysis, avoid Incrucio's power and counter it, impressing them because he's fighting them without an Imperial arm, just a regular sword. Now, this is where our story is going to get really good. And those who, in the 66% of you who voted in the poll to guess the ship, y'all are wrong. It is not Akame. I really wanted to. I'm not going to lie. But then I thought I'm going to have fun with this. So, haha. Anyway, continuing on with our story. Things during this second year of training, during the last year that Bulat would be with the Revolutionary, Deku is sent away to go to the Navy. This is where he would train and spend the remaining year with Wave, because I want it to be where he's there early on with Grand Chariot. Deku would be one of the few people to fight out without an Imperial arm, but due to his fast ability to learn, adapt, and become even stronger, which surprises a lot of people at how quick Deku's ability to change, adapt is way, way more than what most people are capable of. Though he's not yet been able to bond with Tengus or Imperial arms, whatever you want to call them, they would look at him, he would analyze them, he would have great respect and admire all Tengus. It's just none of them would sync with him, and thus nothing would happen when he tried to use them. So they're confused. It's just like the Tengus would not react to him. Almost as if he never really touched them. Now, they didn't know why, and neither did Deku. he stayed serving for the Revolutionary Army for quite some time. It is during this moment where Deku saves Wave due to him. He used Grand Chariot. He was fine until an S-Class Danger Beast would rise from the sea and bring him down. Now, he was able to escape again, and he barely brought himself up to air when the Danger Beast comes back up ready to bring him down. This is when Izuku would jump down off of his ship with his sword and, stab into the monster's eye, causing it to flare around, giving Wave enough time to escape. This let other warriors kill the monster, helping it out. Deku is praised for his bravery, and thus, when the minister hears about how Deku fearlessly would jump in without his Imperial arm to, just to save someone who has an Imperial arm, he's thinking maybe they should do something better, help him out more. Keep in mind, it is very, very different for Deku. He's not met Esdeath. He's heard of Esdeath, and Esdeath has heard about Izuku and how, literally a guy who was found with no memory, but shows high intelligence, and then due to him training and working his ass off, he kind of seemed to have gotten really strong. Esdeath didn't really care, so she never really bothered to investigating into Izuku. So yeah, Deku's personality overall has not really changed. I mean, he had to get used to killing, which at first was unnerving to him, but he kind of had to deal with it right away since he still wanted the goal to help people. They were talking about the Revolutionary Army attacking all these things, trying to blame Night Raid and all this other shit. Oh, Night Raid isn't yet to... yeah. Anyway, continuing on, our shit is pretty simple, I'm not gonna lie to you. Not much is gonna be changing from our canon timeline, I guess. It's gonna run different from both manga and anime. I know I've already said that, but I feel like if I don't... Oh, wrong one. There we go. If I don't say it again, someone might get bitchy and pissy, and I just don't want to deal with that. So, back to this, as there is something fun. As Deku is in the room with all the Imperial arms, yet again, they always give him like one chance to pick out a Tengu and nothing. But this time, something strange happened. This is a little kid who would, at this point, I'ma just say is like 2? So, toddler, the little emperor. The minister's kind of carrying him, holding him. As, the baby starts crying and proceeds to, cause the minister to knock over something. This something was a weird black egg. No one really knew what it was or the fact that what it could do. The black egg falls, cracks, breaks. Minister's just like, wait, what? As out of nowhere, this black steam starts to form and it goes around everyone. It went around the emperor, around the minister, and then it went towards Izuku. Izuku was confused at first, and then, it seemed to go towards something else, and Deku didn't know why, but it felt like it was calling out to him. Something that was telling him, follow me. As this small, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's maybe no more than a puff of smoke, if you will. I mean, if you've never, like, a breath of cigarette, or, when you take a deep breath outside when it's really cold and you can see your breath, the vapors, it kind of just looks like that, as, it just goes towards where this painting is of the first emperor, and then goes through it, burning the painting, causing it to burn into black flames, as, through there was a safe. The safe also burned, as the black smoke entered this weird jar? Not jar, orb, I guess you could say. As once it went into it, it started to glow and resonate, and sure enough, it is active. the Tengu is radiating energy, and Deku, he feels it calling out to him, so he would grab the orb. It is a dark purple glowing orb, and Deku doesn't know why he said what he said. He's just like, Jikai. As then he cracked it so hard, gripping it with his fist that it cracks. And he continues to squeeze as more black vapor was going around Izuku. He then completely crushes the orb as... Hold up, let me see if I can get this right. Okay. He breaks it, and keep in mind, I'm going to just try it. And... Wuzan Hien Ka Ishima no Juseme. As, the minister uttered gibberish to him, but Izuku opens his hands to reveal 10 glowing purple orbs with strange markings within them that start to float around Izuku, and so does the black smoke, enveloping him in this weird cocoon of darkness. And then it just disappears. Deku just stands there, just there. The minister's just like, what happened? As, Izuku turns around, the mark on his chest is visible. His shirt was just burn of cinders from the chest. As he just looks on, he looks at the minister and he smiles. As then he begins to say, I like this power. He asks, wait, did you get an Imperial arm? As Deku saying, yeah, he did. And then Izuku places his hand on his chin saying, if I remember correctly, didn't General Esdeath had a similar experience with hers? After she ingested the blood one, I believe. A mark appeared on her chest. Different from mine, I'm guessing. As, the minister's staring at him, he feels this dark, ominous energy in Izuku. Now, granted, he's not saying anything, but oh my god, is this man, terrified of what Izuku looks like? He looks human, but the minister knows that, you just don't get coated in darkness by breaking some sort of orb, saying some weird sayings, and then everything be okay. Oh, no. That is not how we're doing this. In fact, the man was terrified. And let's see if my phone charges. Hey, that's what's up. As I'm going to put on my brightness just ever so slightly. And as now we do a 2-year time skip. And now I'm saying everything is just as in canon, with the key difference of, when Izuku heard Bulat abandoning for Night Raid, mark is red, I'll watch my homie's video later. I'll watch it later, I said. Anyway, he heard Bulat leaving. He heard a bunch of other people just leaving the army because, things were unsatisfactory. Deku decides he'll look into this, so he traveled the country. He saw how bad shit was. And when he asked him about that and he found out the truth about the minister, Deku, all he could think of is, that fat bastard does have this seemingly desire of excess that, Izuku just laughs. And he's just saying, I don't know, I think maybe, just maybe, he's lived his life as, Deku's confused. Not Deku, but Deku, he's just saying, oh, he doesn't really take good care of himself. Lord knows how long his health will last. As, those who are in poor countries, not countries, but the poor villages and things, they could understand that there was something else that Deku was saying within those words, but it didn't make too much sense. This is where a slight not time skip, but something would happen with Tatsumi, the Ace, Ieyasu, and Seiko, all that good shit would still go down. He would still be found by Leone and be put in Night Raid. All this would still pretty much exist, and not once has Deku ever met, Esdeath. Well, not yet. As Deku, to his surprise, was promoted. Now, this promotion came to him by the minister because the minister, although he's wary of Izuku's abilities, you know, the power that his Tengu, if you will, or his Imperial Arms, which the minister does not know, and Deku's just like, it just kind of came with some weird powers. It was like a two-parter. You know, the black egg was just the first half. You know, if it liked you, you had to go into here, and if it didn't like you, then, you know, you would have died, and out of your body, a black egg would have been there. To repeat the process all over again, a black egg in an orb. As, you know, the minister doesn't look too much into it. You know, and it's weird, despite the Book of Tengu and Imperial Arms, it was never stated to be what it was. It's not listed. So, what they're thinking of, because for the sake of my timeline, this book only holds 40, like, notarized Tengu. There are 8 that were unregistered, and Izuku's happens to be one of the 8. Now, that's all you need to worry about. Now, keep in mind, this is, in a sense, demon powers flooding through Izuku, but not demon powers, so he's not a demon, but, you know, he'll be meh. You know, he doesn't show the mark on his outfit that often, as, you know, there were some people who were arguing with Deku becoming a general since he was relatively still kind of young. Wave was, you know, excited and rooting for him. He was happy to hear his friend. You know, he trained with him. Bulat heard the news, which he told Najenda. Najenda's just like, I heard about him. What do you know about him? He says he doesn't know much, but if, you know, from what Bulat told Najenda about how he used to be, and if he's able to be, you know, at least more of a pedestal closer to the level of Esdeath, enough to be considered a general, so be it. They ask what's his Tengu, and, you know, the only thing that they've heard about Izuku and his abilities is that, you know, no matter how big the army was, no one could ever find the bodies or the corpses. Deku had been sent out to wipe out a rebel camp of, you know, 300 people. And all Deku did was just allow his darkness to flow out into the battlefield and lit them up, turning him into pure ash. It was over in seconds, and Deku just, you know, he's just saying it's a shame. If only, you know, he could change the world for the better. He wants the world to be peaceful. He wants it to be brighter. But there's not much he can do about it. So, this is where things get very, very interesting. As during one of a special night raid missions with the boss Najenda, Bulat, and for one difference, Tatsumi, because, you know, they're going to retrieve a new recruit to replace the death of a special member who, in this timeline, was killed by a tragic encounter with Esdeath. And, you know, I'm pretty much killing off Shile earlier because, yeah, rather than what most people would want, you know, before Tatsumi joined, she had died. So that's one of the key differences. There's no, like, special scene with Shile and everyone. So Akame is colder to Tatsumi due to, you know, all this and blah, blah, blah. You know, they had just lost a new friend, and they're thinking, oh, you can replace this one. Okay, you have a guy, I don't care. You know, Leona, she also thought that maybe replacing, not replacing, but adding a new face would give more life to the group after losing Shell. And, you know, not I'm just saying she found someone else who's also has their own Imperial arm rather than Tatsumi not having an Imperial arm. So, yeah. This is where things get complicated because they, you know, the minister has heard about where Night Raid is supposed to be, and since Esdeath is not in the castle right now, and Izuku was, you know, he asked Izuku, how does he feel about meeting Night Raid? Izuku just smiles and says, anything for you, my, you know, minister. Emperor. As, they dismiss him and he leaves. As Death, she would just vaguely, and I do mean vaguely, sense something leaving the castle as, she enters. As, keep in mind, she's still not seen Izuku after his absorption of the Tengu. She just knows that this kid seemed to have absorbed something powerful, and now she could sense it leaving. And when she asks the minister about what kind of weird abilities he has, the minister straight up says, he never really asked. He thinks about it. Deku's always been able to dodge the question and never really answer what his powers are capable of. This leads to Esdeath being curious, and she would start to get her idea of the Jaegers a little bit more earlier than in canon. She still had her... Ooh, I'm gonna watch that later. Fuck, I just had this. One more time. She still has her 3 little, servants with the axe, the flute, and the ring. But, there's a but. She knows they're not the strongest, and that Deku could probably... Well, she doesn't think Deku, but everyone else is saying, Deku would probably still wipe out her 3 best men, even if they went all out against him. Due to, how fast he's kind of been wiping out people. Oh, well. Now, we arrive to Najenda, Bulat, and Tatsumi meeting up with Chelsea for the first time, and, well, she explains her Tengu is the makeup kit and all this, the Gaia one, and Tatsumi instantly is like fanboying over how cool it is, as, she blushes a little bit, and, she's just saying, yeah, I'm awesome, huh? So, she flips her hair back, as, Bulat's just like, why do I feel like this bitch is trying to steal my man? Hold the fuck up. Tatsumi, you about to get this Crucio spear. What you doing? Oh, that's fucking terrible. Oh, I can't believe I just did Tatsumi dirty like that. Oh, well. Well, technically it's Bulat who wants him. Not really my fault. As... Hold up. Pose. I'm back. Sorry, I had to blow my nose. As, continuing on with the story, Izuku, he sees Bulat. Oh, he sees Najenda, Tatsumi, this one girl, and then a guy, figure with weed hair. Deku's just like, well, oh boy, here I go killing again. As he uses his darkness to create himself wings on his back and flies towards them at very high speeds. He's not hiding any killing intent, so Chelsea, Tatsumi, Bulat, and Najenda all on guard, ready to catch, as Izuku lands crashing down. The earth shakes a little bit. It trembles. As, Izuku pulls out his blade. As, he smiles and he's saying, wow, I never thought I'd see you here, big bro. Wow, this is amazing. I've always been curious. As Izuku would start to undo his, uniform. This is surprising everyone. As Izuku shows off his chest, his dark crest, on his body shows. As then, out of nowhere, darkness surrounds Izuku, enveloping him all. Darkness dies around, and Deku is in assault mode. Oh yes. Now, the assault mode that I'm basing this off of is the one that Estarossa used after in the anime and the manga. And if you don't know, I'm sorry. So, darkness would coat Deku like armor, covering his old legs, body, and chest, giving him a deep V mark. And in that deep V mark, you can still see the mark on his chest. It looks like he has short sleeves, but this is where 2 of the differences are, and is that his forearms are coated with darkness as well, that seem to leak into the back of his palm, for both arms, anyway. As then on his back, he would still have the 2 wings of darkness. He pulls out his sword, as, Bulat is trembling right now. He's never felt anything like this. Neither has Najenda. Chelsea and Tatsumi, they are just terrified. As Izuku's saying, I can't wait. I can't wait to see which one of us is stronger. As Izuku rushes in, Bulat has to yell, "In Crucio!" He barely makes it in time to block Izuku's powerful strikes. And, oh boy, does Tatsumi, Gaia, and Najenda feel like they are useless in this fight because they could not get anywhere near this. Bulat is trying his best as no scratch on Deku whatsoever. Deku can use his darkness to let his body seemingly move like fluid. It's very strange. Once the darkness coats him, it's both like steel armor, and then his body itself becomes fluid because he can then stretch out and proportion it and twist it in such degrees that aren't normal. But he's fine, so they don't know. As the fight continues on, there is a special thing with Bulat being beaten down, and Izuku pulls back one blade. He lifts it up as he then says, "This has been fun. This is a move that I've been practicing, and I think there's no better time to test it out than with you. Big bro, that's okay, right?" As, Bulat feels like he's about to die. He knows he can maybe take maybe 5 or 6 good hits, but after that, Crucial would wear off, and he has no idea, because Deku's not panting, he's not sweating, there's not even a scratch on him. He's just smiling. He's laughing, he's playing, and the weirdest part to Bulat is it still feels like the same innocent Izuku who he rescued all those years ago, but, it feels like he's about to die, so he's just like, damn it! As Izuku then says, "Divine 1,000 cuts," as he just swings down his sword once, and then an eruption of black flames appear on Bulat while in Crucio, and then several slash marks, cause the flames to be extinguished shortly afterwards. And you can tell that there were slash marks because the armor showed it. It was breaking down as Bulat, uncrucios and falls down to the ground. He's still just barely lingering on to, life and death. Izuku pulls his blade in his holster. He deactivates assault mode. He casually just walks over to Tatsumi, Chelsea, and Najenda. And, this is where two things are very, very different. He looks at Najenda, at Chelsea, and he's just saying, "Man, I honestly feel like I deserve a prize. Like, beating your guys' strongest?" It's kind of sad. As, he looks over at Tatsumi and he's saying, "You don't have an Imperial arm. You're very inexperienced, too. I can just see that in your eyes." As, Tatsumi, he takes a battle stance as, he stands in front of Najenda and Chelsea. They're telling him, "What are you doing, guys?" He's saying, "I need you guys to get out of here. Take Big Bro and go. I'll try and keep him up." As before Tatsumi could finish this, Izuku was already behind him. Pats him on the back. As, he's saying, "Hey, kid, I think you should just take a nap." As he chops Tatsumi in the back of the neck, Tatsumi falls down. As, Chelsea, she's terrified. Najenda, she's terrified. Izuku's just like, "Don't take this the wrong way, sweet face." As he then goes behind Chelsea, just does the same neck chop. Chelsea falls. Deku, he doesn't let her fall to the ground. He gently catches her, places her down. As then he looks at Najenda. And you know what he does? Najenda thinks he's about to hurt her. As, Deku then kneels before her. Oh, wait, what? As then Deku says it's an honor to meet one of his personal favorite that he's read about is Najenda. She's confused on why, as Deku's saying he likes her because of how she's doing the whole night raid thing. Alright then. So Deku would look at her and she's confused. She's saying, "You're trying to trick me." Deku's saying, "Honestly, I'm not." As he then points to his chest and tells her everything about his Imperial arm. And when he says he doesn't, not even Esdeath knows about this ability, she looks, kind of skeptical. Deku's saying, "Trust me then." She doesn't. As this is when of course, we would have, the knocked out trio starting to come to. As what they come to is to see Deku, Najenda, making a nice little tongue pact of peace. Deku has his arm feeling Najenda's body. He's caressing, groping, everything. Najenda, she's blushing red as, she's letting out faint moans as, Deku, my guy, is trying to go balls deep. So, Tatsumi, Chelsea, and, Bulat, they turn up and they say, Najenda? Oh, no, they say boss, so I feel like they just say boss. She's just saying, oh shit! And, Izuku's just like, damn it! He pulls off of Najenda. Her bra was exposed, but Deku's hands were inside the bra. It was not. Tatsumi's just like, oh my god! As, Bulat was just like, huh. Just damn. Chelsea, she's just like, wait, what? As, she for some reason feels upset about this. He took the old girl, was she not pretty enough? She looks down at her chest, is her bust not big enough? Because Najenda does have that over her, along with other experiences. As, here is where things get more fun, as, Najenda just looks at the three of them and saying, hey, say hi to our new secret member. Oh, that's fun. As I have to cut this off, guys, I have to go. I am sorry. This video is hella short. I don't even know how I feel about this, but I'm not going to lie to you guys. I may be switching over to doing no more than 30 to 40 minute videos just so I can get them out faster to you guys. This will also cause, how I do my stories to change ever so slightly, but I don't care, so I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This is the first part. When I have time off again, I will start recording more. Currently, the schools are opening back up for where I work at, and now I'm having... which is kind of fucked up. It used to be I had the time, but I wasn't where I wanted to be with the stories. Now it's just, I'm missing the time to record the stories. But, within patience, give me patience and I will give you what ifs. That's all I ask of you. As this is, what if Deku was Isekai to Akame got killed, part 1. As we are leaving it off with, oh shit. Anyway, as we were leaving it off with Deku being the secret inside mole to the army with Night Raid. As, oh boy. As the fun part within all this is that Deku has, kind of claimed Najenda as his own. And poor Lublock. He ain't getting Najenda, guys. Sorry, not sorry.